Meno Warriors, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kate, where I share a weekly video with you about menopause and some topic related to menopause. So last week I talked about vaginas publicly, which offended a man. So I thought I'd dive deep into vaginas today and we'll explore sexual intimacy. Not to be held back by the patriarchy. I might actually have to start a Burn Your Bra club at this rate. So today I'm just going to talk a little bit about navigating sexual health and understanding the impact that the menopause has on intimacy and our vaginal, our sexual health. I'm going to say vagina as much as I can in this one. So as we all know, we are premenopausal, then perimenopausal, which is when your symptoms start to get, they're probably the worst during your perimenopause, to be quite honest, because that's when our estrogen and our progesterone are falling. Well, they're falling and then they're rising, and then they're falling and they're rising. And that time can be really chaotic. And then that can last for about 10 years if you're unlucky. And then you move into postmenopause. So menopause is literally one day since your period. So it's 12, it marks the day, 12 months since your last period. I'm really going for it today. I'm sorry, I've got my bolshy knickers on. And then you're postmenopausal. So there's still quite a lot of stigma and I think embarrassment around vaginal health, sexual intimacy, and it also hits us at a time of life normally, unless you've had, you've got early menopause due to surgical onset menopause. It hits us at a time of life where dynamics are changing. We may be carers, we might be becoming empty nesters. The dynamics of our relationship with our significant other might be changing. And if you're an empty nester, well, then the dynamics of your relationship will be changing with your significant other, because the children aren't there anymore, or the young adults are no longer at home as much, and so you really are left, it's the two of you to your own devices, and it can have quite a profound impact. That's tied with how we change physically, how we change, how that also has like a negative impact on our confidence, on our body image, topped with the fact that society really favors youth. And as we go through menopause, we might be adding a little bit of weight gain, we might be getting rid of belly fat, things start to sag and head southwards, and we get more wrinkly, and there comes a time, I think, where you just think, oh my God, I'm just changing so fast and I don't like it. And there's a lot to take on board. It's just accepting, yes, okay, we're getting older, we should be grateful for the fact we've lived this long. But there are times when, I don't know, it's just like, for flipping heck's sake, why can't I just sort of have a Velcro strip around the back and just pull it all in and up? I think we should all be made with a Velcro pack down the back of us. Anyhow, we're not. So I'm going to go into the ways that going through the menopause and that transition can affect us mentally and emotionally, and just sort of tie that all in together. So as we go through the menopause or perimenopause, as your estrogen and progesterone and testosterone levels are falling, they can have a negative impact on your sex life, basically. Falling estrogen makes the mucous membranes of the body dry up. So you might be getting dry eyes as well, you might be getting dry mouth, you might be getting burning sensation in your mouth, but also you can end up with a vagina that just feels dry. I even speak to some women who find it uncomfortable to walk because they've got vaginal dryness. So it's not just sexual intimacy, it's just a dry vagina can be very uncomfortable. On top of that, the fact that our mucous membranes are getting drier, the lining of the vaginal wall, all our skin gets thinner. Same happens in your vagina. Your vaginal wall gets thinner. So it might be that you've enjoyed a really healthy sex life, and then all of a sudden, because you're getting drier, because the mucous membrane is thinner, it just becomes more uncomfortable. So those really are the physical changes that you need to be aware of. Obviously, on top of that, you have the emotional changes, the fact that, your libido might be falling because your hormones are falling, your testosterone's falling. You may not have so much energy, and you know, if you're tired, you're exhausted, you're fatigued, the last thing you want is a bit of nookie when you go to bed. So you know, all of these things play into how we feel about ourselves, which also plays into our sexual confidence. And you know, you might be going through changes in your body, just looking at your body getting older. You, like I mentioned earlier, you might be struggling with weight gain, and it's having a negative impact on your body confidence. In fact, I work with loads of women. If you are struggling with weight gain, you're getting belly fat, you've got more cellulite, that's actually normally due to muscle atrophy, which happens as we go through the menopause. If you are, if it's holding you back in life, if you're just thinking, I just want to change, I want to look fitter, I want to be stronger, please message me, or click the link that will be in the description if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're watching this on social media, on my Facebook or my Instagram. Go to the link in my bio and get my sparkle back, fill in that form, and I will be in touch, because I have the solution that will work so well with you. It'll help you with your confidence, it'll help you with your energy, it'll help you gain muscle easily with at-home workouts. Also, you get really good nutritional support, you get mindset support from psychological experts from around the world. I mean, I'm a qualified psychotherapist, and the stuff they share is really good. So if you're looking for support, please just click that link. So but you know, just be aware that your body confidence might be taking a bit of a knock. You might be coming to terms with how your face is looking different, because it's starting to sag a bit more, you're getting more wrinkles, like I mentioned, your body's changed, you might be putting a bit of weight on. I mean, all this is so frustrating, because the only reason we feel like that is because society dictates that we should look young and beautiful. And if we were in a society that really valued older people with wrinkles and weight gain wasn't an issue, I mean, yes, there is the group of people who I admire them so much, who are, this is my body, this is how I am, I love myself 100%. And I think that's amazing. You know, that really is like reaching the ultimate breakthrough. But there are a lot of people who haven't reached that breakthrough. I'm one of them. I work hard to try and keep fit and strong. I try and keep as active as I can, because I don't want to become a frail old woman. I want to be a healthy, vigorous woman. And you know, I am fairly confident, but if in an ideal world, yes, I would turn the clock back a few years biologically to look a bit younger. I honestly would do. And so that has a negative impact on all of us. Well, most of us, we do. You might be getting hairier in places which you never used to have hairs. You might be losing hair on your head where you used to have a really good head of hair. You know, all of these things have a knock-on effect to how you feel. And when we're talking about sexual intimacy, that's a very vulnerable, very connected, very raw part of your life. And if you feel that you're not entirely sure who you are anymore, and you're not quite sure how you feel, and you've lost your confidence and you've lost your self-esteem, well, that does have a negative impact on how you feel and how you express yourself, just showing up in life every day, or whether that's in, you know, sexually as well with your partner. So I think, I mean, my top tips on maintaining sexual health and maintaining happy sexual intimacy are just talk, be open with each other. She is not psychic. As much as we always think people are, they don't know what's going on between in our grey matter. We don't often know what's going on up top. So how on earth can they? So just be open with them. Just say, you know, rather than say, oh, I'm just so tired, I can't be bothered, let them in on why you're feeling so tired. Let them in that they don't suddenly think, because you know, your partner, as vulnerable as you might be feeling, your partner's probably feeling quite vulnerable too. They might be worried you're having an affair because you've changed your behavior. I think that's what a lot of people think in partnerships, that, you know, if something changes, they found someone else, they're having an affair, and then that's going to impact their behavior towards you as well. And you know, that can lead to quite disastrous circumstances. So have that open conversation. Even if you find it a little bit difficult, you can only gain by having that open conversation. It's so important that you discuss your concerns and your needs and your needs, really your needs and your desires. You can get, I mean, you might need hormone replacement therapy. You can get, if you don't want to take HRT, but you are realizing that you're really struggling with a dry vagina, you're struggling with, you know, the skin there being very painful, it might be making sexual intercourse painful for you. You can get topical solutions. So you can actually get like an estrogen gel that acts like a lubricant, but because it contains estrogen, it actually helps to strengthen the vaginal wall. So as well as helping with the mucous membranes, it will help, you know, strengthen that vaginal wall. So that might be sufficient, and that might be all you need. Otherwise, you can, there are various things that I would not use, things that contain alcohols and stuff like that. If I would go down the natural route, I'd use something like olive oil or coconut oil. They're natural, they're not going to do either of you any harm at all, and that might be, you know, a healthy lubricant that you can use. Also, make sure you are looking after your pelvic floor. As we get older, particularly as our estrogen levels fall, our muscles do naturally atrophy. You'll find you'll reach a stage of life where all of a sudden it's harder to maintain muscle tone, and you really need to keep working at it. It doesn't matter that you've not started yet. If you've not yet started, you can still start and make tremendous progress. It's amazing the progress that you can make, but the same applies to your pelvic floor. So if you are struggling with pelvic floor weakness, again, as our estrogen levels fall, our pelvic floor is shaped a bit like a hammock. So we have a front and a back and two sides, and that hammock does get weaker, whether you've had children or not. If you've given birth to children vaginally, you may have, you know, obviously everything stretches, so you may have needed to work more on your pelvic floor. But even if you've not had vaginal deliveries, also if you carry extra weight, you're putting more pressure on your pelvic floor. So focus on doing pelvic floor exercises. There are all sorts of different things you can use. I know you can even go to spas, and it acts like, I think, like an ultrasound, or it's like a, to be honest, I don't know about it a lot, but I know that they can use like electrodes to help stimulate the pelvic floor. But there's nothing stopping you doing them at home. I'm not necessarily with the electrodes, but just strengthen your pelvic floor. On my YouTube channel, I actually have got a playlist for pelvic floor exercises that go from beginner level to more advanced. But just be aware that when you look at it like a jellyfish, it's, you know, engage it. I always say to the ladies in my body confidence group, before you do a squat or a lunge or anything, consciously engage your pelvic floor, because then you're constantly strengthening it throughout a workout, which is brilliant. And you will find it will get a lot stronger. And if you've got a stronger pelvic floor, it's supporting the anatomy around the vagina and the cervix, and, you know, all of your intimate parts. So making sure you work with your pelvic floor is going to benefit you as well. It can also enhance sexual sensation if you find that you know, things have changed a little bit for you. You can also explore non-penetrative sex. You know, it's a tough one, isn't it? I suppose it depends on your relationship, and would that be sufficient for you? Would that be a satisfying sex life for you? If it would, well, that might be the way you go. If it would not, then I would definitely look at the topical creams. I would definitely look at the lubricants, pelvic floor health, open communication. And if all else fails, go and have a chat with your sexual health care provider. You may want to have a chat with a therapist and help you, you know, just get your mindset on the right side that supports you, because we put a lot of expectations on ourselves. You know, I mean, you just need to look at the sort of the movie industry, not to mention the porn industry. If your partner likes watching porn, you might enjoy watching porn with him or her, but it can also have a really negative impact on couples, because a lot of the stuff that is shown as porn, it's not really normal. It's not normal sex. It's not healthy stuff. It's just it's it's whatever it is, what's the word, glamorized, and it's just wrong. So not necessarily, I'm not judging people who watch porn, but the way porn is portrayed, it just doesn't really lead to particularly good mental health or self-acceptance around the sexual health, so, and intimacy. So yes, it's really important that you have a sex life that you find fulfilling, that you're not doing just to keep your other half happy. And there are a lot of women out there who do. It is sex is a chore. It's just like, well, I've done the vacuuming, I've done the dusting. Oh yeah, I had sex once this week, so that's fine. That's that one done out the way. Sex should be something that you enjoy as well. And you have absolutely every right to enjoy a healthy sex life. It might be the time, if you've had a life up until now where you've been the woman who's just sort of put up with it, and this is, oh, it was just something I have to do to keep him happy. If that is the case for you, you could use this time of your life to really get to grips with what you want, and to have that conversation around maybe changing a few things. Because as your body changes, as your sense of self changes, you could really use this as a catalyst to have a few conversations that result in a rewarding sex life for you. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I didn't actually say the word vagina as much as I wanted to, but there's some weird folk out there still, clearly. If you've got anything that you would like me to cover in a future episode, please either drop it in the comments or send me a private message. I'd be more than happy to do that. And I really appreciate the time you've taken to listen to this today. Thank you for your company. I hope you found it helpful. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss future episodes. And please give it a thumbs up. And I will look forward to catching up with you again soon.